Hello my friends, it's Andre here again. How are you today? It's a beautiful day here in Czech Republic. And this is actually, I have a news for you guys today. So you can see that right now I'm working with a daylight, right? Here the window is over there. And there is quite a bit of light, you know, coming to me. And today I actually have a bit of a news. Okay, let me regulate this. You see it's not as easy to work with. But today is the last day that I'm gonna be using that because there is a ring light on its way to me, and tomorrow I'll try to unbox it and try to configure it. As my buddy Ryan recommended, this is a good addition to the whole streaming setup. You see, there's a bit of a like ugly white space over here. Yeah, okay. I'm having a hard time to navigate here. Okay, here it is. Yeah, so. Hopefully that will solve it. Because for normal videos I'm just working with natural light, but for streams it's a bit trickier. So tomorrow, hopefully it will come. I'll make a video about the setup, and next week, next Thursday, exactly the same time. It's 3 p.m. BST. I guess we're gonna. I don't know if we're gonna be working on Gridsum still, if I can't finish this today. But either way, I'm gonna try to show you the new setup and use it for the next stream. But today we're sticking back to Gridsum. It's the third. I know it's the third stream in a row working on the same thing. But because first time I stumbled upon really a nasty error that didn't really tell me anything about what was really going on. So that was 1 week, and I've spent over an hour, on stream trying to figure that issue out. I did not succeed, but I fixed that till the next stream. Last week we were working on a few of the components, and I think we got the homepage. We got the homepage to work. So today, I promised last time that today I'm gonna start with working on styles, on styles of the site. Because it did work, it got the data from the headless CMS, but it didn't look good. The reason is that a lot of the styles that were used in the original Gatsby Lumen site were just hard-coded in the components. So this is something that, let me open the browser here for a second. So we're at localhost 8080. So you see that the website doesn't look very good. As I said, it's because the original Gatsby site. Let me open that in a different window here. So when we look at let's take a look at layout, for example. No styles here exactly as I expected. But let's take a look at menu. You see there are some styles here. Style, that's SCSS. Now I'm not a fan of having these things defined next to the components. I realize that this is something that's really preference based, but I usually prefer trying to solve the styles elsewhere. So what I always do when I create a new website is I create the templates for every single view there is on the page or on the website. I create the styles and I create them separately from the application and the functionality. I don't know if that's good or bad. I just found out that this setup kind of works for me. So I'm using that. And that's exactly what I'll be doing here as well. So this is a menu. I'm just going to copy over the SCSS code. I hope that this is going to work like one-to-one. And you know from last time that there is a SCSS folder under source and assets. And here, okay, let me create a new file here. Or let's create a folder here. Let's call that components. Components, yeah. And create a new file here, menu.scss. I'm just gonna paste that here. So that's the first component. Let's take a look at the sidebar. I think we used sidebar last time too, so I'm gonna do the same here with sidebar. It's a new file. I got a wrong keyboard. Okay, sidebar. SCSS, here we go. Okay, we'll see. We'll see if this is gonna work. And it's importing assets as CSS variables. So this is gonna be different. So in the menu, we need to go one level up, and there are the variables and mixins. Sorry, I'm just gonna change this. This should work. And this should work too, hopefully. So let's see. I'm not sure if this actually is supposed to be this way. So I haven't worked with SCSS. I'm usually using SAS. So I'm quite new to SCSS and to this syntax. But let's take a look at some of the other pages. Like here, we're not actually importing anything here. So maybe that's something that we don't even need here. So let me remove that. One important thing though is that these two require variables and mixins, so they cannot be imported before these things, before variables and mixins. So let's take a look at init. Variables, mixins. All right, so now we can import base and pages, and in pages I assume we're importing the nested styles. So I'm gonna do something very similar. I'm just gonna put here another import for components and create here a new page called a new file called components. And the only thing this file would do is to load components slash menu and slash sidebar. Cool. Let's try to run this. Nice, this seems to work. Let's take a look how the website looks like. Okay, so you see it's already starting to look a little bit better. So it seems like this this approach works, but we have to go through a bit more components here. So I did menu, I did sidebar. Now I need to go into the page index and see what kind of components we're using here. So we're using article definitely. So let's take a look at article. It already has styles here, so I'm just gonna copy that over and add it as another component. So this was article. And of course, remove these two things. And add it here. So article. Okay. This still looks the same. Why does it look the same? I thought that this would change. Maybe it's the detailed version of the article. I don't know. But we'll see in a moment. So that's another thing that we had to copy. Let's take a look at what else do we have here. So index page. We are looking for, oops. So helmet div class name items. And in items we have article. So that should work. I wonder if we have categories anywhere, but I don't think so. So sidebar we did. Let me see here in the index page. So we got article and sidebar, article and layout. Okay, that should look better already. Let me see if I did something wrong here. Article.scss.article. Maybe I missed a class name or something somewhere. Let's take a look back here. Components/article. This is correct. So let me see if we need actually some kind of class here. So article data key, no classes here, but there is a class named article. So let's check if we have that here as well. So component that is called article, div class name. Oh, but in Gridsum we don't use class names, right? So I need to change that, all class names to class. So let's see if this is gonna work now. Nope, still the same. Still the same. Okay, let me see here. Div class name content, div class sidebar, class name, class name, class name. All right, so we need to fix those class names definitely. Let's take a look at the index page again. Here we go. Okay, maybe that was the problem. Oh, you see that this is now much nicer. Okay, so we got the nice padding here, but we still don't have the layout quite right. Let's see if there are also some missing class names. Here we go. So we want to use only class here. But this is still down here under the left side. But let's take a look if we have a layout style here somewhere. So layout, no, layout does not have any style here, it seems. It's importing init.scss though, but that should be fine because we already have that included. Okay, we copied this over, so that should be fine. List of things. Okay. So let's see what's actually wrong here. So I'm gonna run the Gatsby site. I'm just gonna check, what kind of styles are missing. Then I should be able to see find in which file the missing styles are, and based on that, I can copy them over to Gridsum. Here we go. So localhost 8000. There we go. So, we're missing some components here as well. So on the left side, on the sidebar, I think we're missing some components here. On the sidebar. Is that possible? Sidebar copyright. All author edges node bio. So that's this part. But there are some components here right below. Before all rights reserved. Now we have that here. So I think we're missing something here. There's the copyright here. Oh, here it is, menu. Okay, we're missing menu here. Menu, and we're missing links. So let me see if we can fix this. So if you wanna use these components, we have to import them. So where do we have? Here we have that. So we want to copy over the menu component and not article, not sidebar. No, this is wrong. Oh, we wanted to get menu and we wanted to get links. So from component links and menu. Now we have to add these components, right? So if I say this, it's gonna generate some failures and errors. So this is expected. So let's see. First of all, I'm just gonna copy over the styles here, so that we don't have to meddle with them later. Now we know how to do that. So while we have that mindset, let's do that right away. So new file, menu.scss. Oh, already exists. Oh, okay, I already did that. Nice. And the other was links. So links as CSS. Let's put that here and remove the imports and add that in the components as CSS. Links. Cool. So we got that sorted. Now what we need to do is copy over the actual component. So let's take the whole thing here and copy it over to components in the Gridsum part. Okay, let me see. Yeah, that's expected. Okay, so these are styles. So now we are in the components, and we're gonna create a menu.view. I think it was menu, right? What I was copying. Yes, it was menu. Now here, obviously, we need to do the template tags that around, you know, the HTML. So template nav class name of the class, and here we have the menu block. Now the menu block is unordered list, menu list, and it's getting data from menu elements, menu items. So we're only looking for the LE element, and we're gonna iterate that one. So v4, and we're gonna add the data here later. Now we got the link here. So what is link? Let me see. Oh, that's a Gatsby link. Import link from Gatsby. Okay. So I think that in here we can just use a simple anchor. And we're gonna go into item elements slug value starts with okay. I'm gonna figure this out later. But right now we're looking for the markup, which is fine. We also need to have the class here. That's this one. An active class name. Okay, so this is something that we don't have here. So I'm just gonna figure this out later as well. We're gonna have to figure out how to find out which item is active. But we can also do it if let's figure this out later. And remove this for now. So these are the menu elements. And obviously we're gonna need a script here. Or would we? Let me see what we did here. Yeah, here we only have one prop, that's the article, but I think here in the menu we're gonna do static query to get the data. So I don't think we need this at all. Yeah, I think we can remove this. So let's remove this as well. And put here a static query. And we're gonna need to get some data for this component. So this component, let me see. Menu.elements. Menu, okay, so it takes the elements from a property. So we're gonna have to go one level up. That's the index page. And on the index page, oh, there's actually sidebar. So components, sidebar, index, okay. I think here we have the menu data equals menu. So let's see, menu is data content item menu. Content item menu. Okay, here we go. Here's the GraphQL query that we're looking for. Okay, so I think here in our own sidebar, we are getting only authors and site metadata. So only the thing that we need for this component, right? Now let me open this again. And let's see what kind of data we can get. Okay, let's remove that. And let's see what we are looking for. So we are looking for menu items, content item menu. I think that would be all menu item in my case. And we are only looking for code name that equals to navigation menu. So code name equals navigation menu. Okay. Now we go through edges, we go through nodes, and we go into elements menu item. Oh, where is that? Slug label content. Menu items. There should be element menu items. Maybe I'm looking at the wrong type here. Let me see. Okay, I'm just gonna open the Kentico Kontent in a different tab here. I'm just gonna try to switch to the right project while being off screen, because right now I have a different one selected. So let's go into Gridsum Lumen. That's the one. So here we go. We are looking for the types, and here it was content item menu. So maybe it's this one, content item menu, not menu item. So not menu item, but only menu, all menu. So we're looking for menu. He doesn't like that. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, then we need to go through all menu. Okay, here we go. Now we're looking for menu items. Here it is. So menu items are here. We are looking for value, which is not here in Gridsum. This is value automatically. And if this is a content item menu item, then we are looking for these things, mainly ID. Then we're looking for elements label value, so label. We're looking for slug. And that's it. That's all we need. So I can now remove this. And see, this is gonna give me any results. All right, so we got 3 links here. Articles, about me, contact, which I think are these 3 links. So this is good. So I'm just gonna copy this query over to menu.view. And let's see. So we got the query here, all author. So we're gonna use the same approach here. So I'm just seeing if we have a cycle here, but we don't, it seems. So static all author, blah, blah, blah. We're gonna use the same approach in the menu here. So for every menu item in static, not all author, but all menu, edges, and the key will not be item ID, but the key is going to be menu item ID. And this is going to be bound. So now it stopped complaining, which usually means it's okay, that you're on a good path. So hopefully this is going to work. Now, the ref will not be article slug, but it's going to be menu item dot node dot slug. And here it's going to be also menu item dot node. Or is it? Okay, my mistake here. So static all menu edges. So this is the main menu, right? That's only single item. And we need to go through the list to the actual menu items. So I was one level up. So here we need to go into the first edge. We need to go into node, into menu items, and there we want to iterate. Yeah. So there can be multiple menu items, 3 in my case. So we're looking at the menu items here. In that case, the ID is going to be right here. And this is not going to be node, but this is going to be menu item.slug. And here it's going to be menu, oh, what was it? Title, menu item. We're going to call it label, menu item.label. Cool. Now let's save that. He still doesn't like the fact that there are no links here, but I want to try this out. So I'm just going to go ahead here and comment this out. This too. But the menu is working. I think that we also need to specify what we are getting in the exported. Or somewhere. Let me see how we do it on the page. Yeah, so we need to define which components we're using right here. So we're in the sidebar, and we need to define that we're going to be using components, and the component's going to be menu. It's also going to be links, but more on that later. So cool. We got the sidebar menu. Now it should be fine. Let's see. Okay, it seems like there are no issues here. Let's take a look how it works. Nice, we got 3 links here, articles, about me, contact, and they also seem to be in the right style. Nice, so this is working. All right, let's continue with these links. So that would be this component right here. It's gonna be the same approach, so menu, links, I'm gonna import that from links.view, but I have to create a component. Links.view. And as just like before, I'm just going to copy that over from the Gatsby side. Let's add that here just like it is. And we're going to start with, oh, not static query. We're going to start with the layout. So template, div class name, no, just class is going to be layout. These 2 things are only for Web Spotlight, so I don't want to do that right now. So I just want the normal HTML. Here we're changing the title. Let's skip that for now. We're also setting, so I'm not sure why we're setting these things in links, but okay. And we have only children here, so this is this the right? This is layout. Okay, my mistake. Sorry. my mistake, this is not links. So let's start again with links. This looks much better. So we're looking for this HTML template, HTML here, and let's do the replacement of class names to class in bulk. Now let's take a look at what we have here. So we have links, links list. We have a link to Twitter, which comes from some data. So let's take a look at where are those data coming from. You see that there are links that are coming mainly from author variable. So that's another property. Yeah. Let's take a look at how this component gets the data. So I assume that it takes them from here, data content item author. Yeah. So these are all the values that are available in scope of the author. Let's take a look at if we already have them in the sidebar. So there are two cases what we can, or two options what we can do here. We can either use the static query to get the data within the component, or we could use another approach and get that as a parameter from the parent component, right? That would be the sidebar. So let's take a look if we already have the data in the sidebar. And here we have all author, ID, codename, name, avatar, and so on. So we don't have that here, which is easier. I think that the component, it depends how you want to handle it. I prefer if components actually take care of themselves. So if they get the data by themselves, the data that they need, get it by themselves if they can, rather than receive it via parameters. So, but you can have a totally different, approach to this. So it's up to you. But I'm gonna do it that way. So links.view. We're looking at static query. And now let's take a look at what we need. So the query is going to be very similar to this one. So I'm just going to take this one as a template. I'm going to put that here. Oops. This is doubled. Okay, this should be fine. Edges, nodes, all author query. Okay. So we're looking for author and what we need from nodes. So we definitely need, okay, here we were. We definitely need Twitter. We definitely need GitHub. VK, I don't know what VK is. So let's see. Okay, we got Twitter. We got GitHub. We got VK. What's VK? VK for mobile devices. It looks like Facebook. I've literally never seen this. Interesting. Then we got email and Telegram. Let's see if we have those available. Email and Telegram. Email, Telegram. All right. I don't think we need any of these, if I'm not mistaken, but I don't think so. Cool. So we need only these few things. So let's see. Okay, this gives me all sharps. Why am I getting just sharps here? Let's take a look what we have here. Oh, okay. Email, Telegram, Twitter, GitHub, RSS. Everything is just a sharp sign. So let me change this. I'm just gonna create a new version of this. This is John Doe, right? Yeah. So let's call this John, no Joe, John Doe at hotmail.com, for example. Telegram, no Telegram here. Twitter, john.doe. GitHub is going to be the same. Now here it depends, and you have to know this, whether you want to include the URL of the profile, like the HTTPS colon / github.com, if you wanna store that in here as well, or if you wanna have it in the website implementation. I think I have it in the website implementation, so I'm not gonna worry too much about this for now. RSS is gonna be empty, the VK as well. Okay, so let's publish this. Awesome. Now let's try to so whenever I make a change like this, I have to rebuild, because the Gridsum plugin for content always gets the data during the build, so otherwise I wouldn't get the newest data. Right, here we go. So now I should get some values here. Oh, maybe I was too quick. Let me refresh this. Yeah, I was a bit too quick. Okay. Sometimes it takes a while before the new published data are reflected. Okay, here we go. There we go. So we got the data here. So the query is working. I can just copy and paste this into the component. Awesome. Now I can access it just like I did before. So now this is just copy pasting. So let's see what we have here. We don't need to have these things in here. I'm just gonna leave it there for future, but this is again Web Spotlight, so no need to have these things here. But let's fix this. So anchor ref, slightly different syntax here. Twitter, then not links Twitter, but we are looking at static. And then all author edges node. First edge. .node.twitter. Awesome. I'm just gonna copy this or repeat the same thing for the rest of these items. So a ref, all author edges node GitHub. And again for VK. And the same goes for email here. So again, static, all author edges, and finally for the Telegram. Now, of course, I could take the same approach as before, right? Like someone did here in the Gatsby implementation. Let me jump here. To the links. So I could also prepare the links ahead of time, you know, and then have the HTML markup a little bit nicer without the edges, the first, you know, item in the array, and then go to node and so on. So it's also possible. It depends on how you wanna do it. I just go for the easiest implementation here. So going for the whole notation here is easier. Now let's take a look if this is actually working. Okay, I don't have the component in the page yet, I think. So sidebar, links, but I think, no, it's here actually. Oh, this is the, okay, sorry, this is the Gatsby site. Oh, no, it isn't, but I haven't saved this. Okay, let's take a look. Oh, this is not clickable. Okay, data author. The important thing is, okay, sorry, you can't see this. Okay, here we go. Okay, but the important thing is the data are in place. That's cool. Now we have to fix the styles. Let me see if there are any questions. No, nothing's there. Nothing's there yet. Okay, so we need to fix the styles now for the links. But before we do that, let me take a short break. I have to see what the dog is doing because she's been making some sounds. So give me a moment. I'll be right back. Alright guys, sorry for the delay, or for the break, but it seems like when there is a dog 300 meters away and actually 6 floors below the apartment, it's really important to notify me about it and start barking. So now that the imminent danger is reverted, we're good. We can continue with this. So we ended with the links here. I think that the links are already here under SCSSM components. Yeah, those are here. And I think they are also included in components, so we should be good. Now, the reason, let's find out why. So this is the page, right? Let me refresh this, but let's see. Oh, I'm debugging, nice. Let's see why the icons are not displayed. So links list item, and inside there is a iClass icon Twitter. Okay, now let's see. I assume that there's going to be some kind of style for icons in the previous in the Gatsby implementation. So we're looking for, I don't really know what we're looking for here. Let's see, fonts. Wait, there's some kind of icon font. No, it doesn't seem so. Fontello. So the good thing, what you can do in this case is take a look here where that is defined. So that's this part right here. And that's fontello.css. So that's exactly what I was looking for. So what I need to do is copy that thing over. So this is the Vue implementation. This is Gatsby. So fonts.css. I'm just going to go ahead and open the whole folder in Explorer, right? So you have source, assets, fonts. So I'm just going to copy the whole thing into my Gridsum page. So we're looking for not source, but static. Or where do we have other CSS? Oh, here, assets. Oh, it's already here, actually. Fontello CSS. So the only thing I need to do is just include that in the page, which I assume Gatsby is doing. Oh, this is again the view. This is Gatsby. So let's take a look at how Gatsby is doing that. If that is in the config. No, it doesn't seem so. So let's take a look at the layout. Init.css. So it's not here as well. Nope, not here. So I would assume that if this is needed by the links, it will be in the links. So here we go. So it's imported here. We're probably gonna import it for the whole site. So we can go into, where do we actually do that? I don't think it's on the page level. I think this used to be in the Gridsum Config somewhere. Menu content item, no, that's not it. That's not what I'm looking for. So yeah, maybe it's in the main.js. Here we go. So we're looking for assets, fonts, fontello. Okay, no complaining. And here we go. Now we got the icons nice and shiny. It's still missing the cursor though. And I'm wondering where that is defined. If but this is age. This is an anchor tag. So essentially, this should generate the right link, and it does. Cool. And it goes to the right domain, to the right handle. So this is all nice. The only thing I would maybe change is that if there is no content, the item should not be displayed, because if you look at the not email but this Telegram, it goes to Telegram : nothing. So I would maybe change this a little bit to reflect what values are filled in and what aren't. So if we look at the links, so here is email, here is Telegram. So what we can do very easily, we can just do here vif static all author edges node email is not empty. Oh, but we actually do have email there, so just gonna do the same for Telegram. So let's see if that helps. Yeah, so you see Telegram is now missing. Perfect. So we can do the same thing for all of these items. So VK, this is GitHub, and this is Twitter. There we go. So VK disappeared as well. We only have these things. Of course, I don't know why we have two links lists here. What if I remove this? What's gonna happen? Nothing's gonna happen. Yeah, I don't know if that was intentional to have two lines there, but now we have just one. I think that's fine. Perfect. So we got the menu, we got the sidebar. Now it's time to figure out why this list of articles is not on the right, but it is on the left below the left sidebar. So let's take a look at this page, and I want to see where it's defined that this is a sidebar. Okay, so we got a div class layout here. And div class layout defines the maximum width. Okay, where are my dev tools here? Here we go. So this is div class layout, but layout does not have the same styles here, as far as I can see. See that here? The layout has something from generic.scss. And for some reason, I'm not getting the same styles. So let's take a look. So I don't have any generic here, any generics here. Oh, here it is, generic.scss. So let's see if we have that in the init. No, it's not here, you see? Not here. So we're missing styles from generic, from this file right here. But before I change this, I want to see why that happens. So let's take a look at the index page, or actually on the layout page, because somehow the styles need to be making its way through to that page. And I just want to figure out why that happens, why the generic is not included in the styles, because it must be referenced somewhere else. So we're looking at index.js6 of layout, that references only the init.scss, right? So that's not it. Because the init, let's close this. The init does not have the generics here, or generic here. So this is not it. And if it's not in the layout, Where is it then? So we can actually search for generic SCSS or just generic. How come this is not mentioned anywhere? Oh, okay. Without underscore. Okay, here it is. So in the base SCSS, we have that in the base. Oh, and the base is included here. Base is included in the init.scss, so that should be working. Here we're getting base. So base SCSS, that should get normalized, generic, and highlight. Normalized, generic, and highlight. So these styles should be in the final bundle. But for some reason, they are not. See? Okay, so let's take a look. Variables, breakpoints, blah, blah, blah. This is fun to look. Okay, so this is the style that is coming out of view. It seems, at least. So let's copy the value and see what we have in there. No, not go to, but let's see, generic. Okay, now we have the generic here. Generic, A, B, blah, 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 dot layout. Okay, let's see that layout. Lost center, but that's the only thing that is here. Okay, so let's take a look at the generic here. That layout lost center. Okay, so this is correct. Maybe I have a wrong version of the file here. Generic. That's not here. Okay, let's take a look again. Where is that layout defined? Dot layout, but this is only, oh, layout width. Okay, let's take a look how these styles are inserted here. Okay, like this. I've never seen a lost center CSS property. I wonder what that is. Lost center. Lost grid. Okay, so maybe this is a lost grid. This seems like to be some kind of a library that is. Let me see if this is installed in Gatsby. So let's take a look here. Dependencies. Lost. Okay, so we're using this package here, which is probably working with the grid, and we're obviously not using that on the Gridsum side. So let me see, npm lost. So it's powerful grid system built in post CSS. Okay, so we probably need to install this in the Gridsum site. So that might be what I'm missing here. Let's close this and install lost and save. I think that was a normal dependency, or oh, this is actually def dependency. Okay, never mind. I'll fix it later. Perfect. So this is installed now. Let's just move that here. And try it again. Now I don't know if there is any kind of configuration. Let's see what they say here. Installation guide. No. Post CSS. Let me see if we actually have post CSS here. Yeah, we do. So I assume we're gonna need that too. But this is the only thing. It's not mentioned anywhere else. So let's see. To use lost directly with Node. Let me see if we are using this somewhere. Here it is. Look at that. Gatsby Config JS. So we need these two things. Other than that, let's see if we're using it somewhere. 1 out of 3. Oh yeah, we have it under post CSS plugins. Gatsby plugin, React Helmet, and then we have this plugin. Okay, let me see if we have actually lost plugin for Gridsum. And it seems like we don't. Okay, never mind. We're gonna go the other way. So we're not gonna mess up with these dependencies. I'm gonna uninstall the lost package. And we're just gonna create whatever's not gonna work. We're just gonna create a new style under components. So I'm just gonna call this one new layout.scss. And I'm gonna import it here. Components / layout. And I'm gonna change that. So here, instead of using lost center, I'm just gonna take this whole thing out and put it here. And instead of saying lost center, I'm gonna fix it the same way we had it here. So if we're looking at layout, this is max width, margin left, margin right, auto. Okay, so max width will be layout width, and margin left is gonna be automatic, and right to. Oh, this is not running. Let's run this. Oh, no. This one. There we go. No, I don't want to debug. Okay, so now we're getting the layout the way it should be, right? We do have the sidebar a little bit too wide, but that's because we have the lost columns here. We're gonna fix that in a second. So let's take a look at sidebar. Lost column 5 out of 12. So let's see what that means here. That's the sidebar here. Okay, that renders a bunch of stuff here. Float left, margin right. Okay, this is a bit too complicated for me. I would go a different way. So this is supposed to be 5 out of 12, right? So what we can do. Okay, where's my DevTools? So the way I see it, we have one div class layout here, we have one div below, and below that we have two divs, sidebar and content. While content is supposed to be 2/3 or 7/12 based on generic, while the sidebar based on sidebar should be 1/3 and 5 out of 12. So 5 out of 12, okay. Let's see. This is interesting because I don't see, I think that's what the lost does. So let's say, let's keep this here for now, and let's solve the generic first. So these are just headers, and here we have content. So this is the small, and we got 7/12 here for breakpoint small. So what we can do, we have actually basically two options. We can either stick with grid for the definition of sizes of those two elements, or we could go with a simple flexbox. I usually like flexbox more, which doesn't mean it's better for this use case, but we're gonna have to change this CSS a little bit. Let's take a look at the main page where I think that we have the extra div here. Here we go. So this is the layout, this is the div. Let's call this one flex row. Okay, we're gonna put the styles in the layout because we are in the layout. Pretty much. Or we could remove this completely, and we can just leave everything on the layout. That also works. But then we have to figure out here on what we want to do. So if we want to do display flex direction will be from left to right. So that will be column. No, that will be a row. Okay, this is a bit confusing to me. It always is. So we're going to row, post in debugger. No, I don't want to debug now. Now this looks much better. And now we need to say that the left part should be only 1/3 and the right part should be 2/3. So we're going to look at CSS tricks. This is the best resource on the web. So let's take a look here at what we want to do. So what we want is flex grow, but we may not have an available space here. So we can't work with that. We want to define, okay, that's not here. All right, let's Google for that. So flexbox 1/3. Here we go. Center horizontally, so on. Okay, I think what we can do, let me try this before we Google anymore. What we can do is we can say that content here will be 66%. And here, 7 out of 12. How much is that actually? It's 58. Okay. I'm gonna say 58%. 58, 66. So if we go back to layout, where is that, by the way? Here it is, sidebar. All right. So it was 58 and 66, right? So here we are looking for 34. And here we are looking for, it was 56, right? So 44. Or it was 58, okay. So 42. So let's take a look here. So the sidebar author, sidebar is supposed to be 34. You can see that we can change this and it keeps narrowing. So this is good. So 34 and this is supposed to be 66 and it works nicely. The only thing is that I don't have this gray bar, I don't have it till the end of the page. But that's the same case here, so we are good, I think. Almost the same. Okay, this is a bit weird. Dot sidebar with 100%. Okay, this shouldn't be 100%. Oh, okay. So now this shouldn't be, okay. So we need to figure out if it's smaller, it switches and it should be a different flex direction. So one thing we have to fix here. Let me see. So we put that in the layout, right? Yeah. So we need to fix whenever the sidebar, here we go, 100%, you see? So only from breakpoint small. So this will actually be column. And only from breakpoint, can we actually use it inside? No, we can't, okay. Only from breakpoint small this is going to be flex direction row. Let's see if this is gonna work. All right. Yeah, this seems nice. See if this behaves the same way. Yeah, I think it does. Cool. So we have that figured out. Now there are still some font issues. And active pages. So I'm wondering, let's take a look at the active links, right? So there was the property, the class that it wasn't the links, it was in the menu component. Menu here. So an item was active. It had a special class here. Let's see what that was. So that was component menu here. So active class name is menu list item link, menu list item link active. So we need to append this if the item is active. And we have to do it sort of manually. So let's see if the component has access to the current routing parameters. So Gridsum component current URL. Let's take a look. Username. This route params. Okay. Let's see if we actually see that in the component. So I'm just going to render it here. No, there's nothing there actually. So it seems like we don't have access to this. And there was one of a bit of a different thing. Nav class menu, data menu, that should not be there. But it's not here. That's interesting. See this data menu? That should not be there. Interesting. Okay. But we don't have access to the routing here. This is okay. This is a page component. So we do have access for the routing in the page component, which means we probably have to, or let's see if we can actually access that from the normal components, but I don't think so. Oh, here we go. Oh, but this is still the same page component. Dynamic route. Yeah, it doesn't seem so. So we'd have to pass that from the index page, which goes into sidebar. So we could say route equals this route params. Go into sidebar and go here route params object. And then we could pass that over to menu. Route params. So here we have the data menu. I don't think we do have anything like that here, which is maybe why we have that in there. Just like we don't need it here, but we need the route params to be route params. Awesome. So now we have the route params in the menu. We should define it though here. We should define it as params here, or as props. Route params object. And let's take a look at what we have there. Okay, so this is the sidebar. Where do you have the navigation? These are the links. Okay, I think we're missing the menu overall. So did something went wrong? No? Seems to be okay. But for some reason I don't see it. Okay, the component is not rendered here. Let's try to rebuild this. See if there are any errors here. Okay, nothing here. The menu is just not rendered, which is the worst error that there can be, because now you have to figure out what's going on, right? So route params is an object. If we go one level up to here, menu route params. Okay, let's try to not give it route params. Nope, still not working. Where do we have this home page? Maybe I'm using it in the wrong way. Oh, here it is, VF. Okay. No, so that should be fine. And the other components are being rendered here. So links are being rendered. So menu should be 2. Let's try it this way. Nope, still not working. Let's see what we have in there. Route params. Okay, so this is empty. How come this is empty? This is 404, that's fine. But even if this is empty, it doesn't explain why the menu is not being rendered now. Okay, let's remove this. And remove that. Okay, here we go. So he doesn't like this. Maybe this keyword is a problem here. Okay, now this works. All right. Now it'd be nice to have actually something in there, but right now we only have the home page, right? So let's see what the documentation says. Okay, ID. I think this actually works for the slugs. So this should give me the slug of the page. So if you look at the blog posts here, it goes to articles /G. So what I need to do is get just the whole URL. So Gridsum get current URL. The current URL. Okay, here we go. Oh, this is Gatsby. Gridsome, okay. I think that there was something like a current path or something like that. I don't really remember what that actually was. Rewrite rules. No, that's not what I'm looking for. Okay, let's skip this until we have some pages so that we can actually test it. I'm gonna keep this in place just so that we know that there is something we need to do with the data here in the menu. But let's skip this for now and focus on more important things. Okay, let's I think it's in sidebar. Let's remove this. Perfect. So now what I want to do is focus on creating some of these pages. So articles, that's actually this page. About me and contact. What I want to do is actually generate this template for articles, right? So I want to create here a template. Pages, layouts, models. So let's create a new folder here. Oh, there is already a folder called templates. Let's remove the README then. And I'm gonna create here. So the important thing about Gridsum is that if you want to create a template, you need to know for which data type you're creating the template. So when we go here and look for the articles, so all article, edges, nodes. Let's go for name. So you see there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 articles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 articles. And those articles, if we want to take a look, we can go for type name. And the type name is _article. That's because I added a prefix underscore. But what we want to do is we want to name the template the same way as the type is called, right? So I'm just going to create here a new file called article.view. And this way, Gridsum will automatically bind it with the data coming from the headless CMS. So that's one job less for me, because otherwise I would have to connect these two together. If they have the same name, Gridsum will do the job for me. So let's put here a template. And we're also going to need a script here. And I think we're also going to need, let me check one other site that I already have on Gridsum, not on Gatsby. Because we need to tell Gridsum what is the slug. So just 1 second here. I'm gonna try to pull it up. Here we go. So this is actually what you need to do, right? In gridsum.config, you need to define the templates here and define what is going to be the URL of each page. So gridsum.config, and we have it under everything else. So here, and we have template articles or article, and it's going to be colon and slug. I think that we do have the slug here. Yeah. So it's important that this is a field that's actually on the content items that you are processing. So here the slugs are right there. So this is all we need to do. The template itself, let me show you how an existing template looks like. So the template looks like just any other page, with one difference, that there is a page query and the query contains an ID. In this case, of course, because I have I have the slug here, but every single, so if you create a template and connect it with data coming from a headless CMS, the way how Gridsum identifies the page is an ID. It's not the slug. The slug is used for actually Gridsum finding out what page you want to render, but internally in the implementation, Gridsum gives you an ID, not the slug, but ID of the page. Yeah. So this is sometimes a bit of a hard concept to get, that we have IDs everywhere. Or at least I hope I explained this the right way, because it's been a while since I worked with Gridsum. So page query. So there's going to be my query. Let's call that my query. Doesn't matter. And let's do that here. Let's take the ID here, and I'm gonna set it up as query variables. Yeah, ID equals this. Now what I can do is I can build the query this way. So query, my query, ID, and that is required. And we're gonna find an article where ID equals that ID. And then we can go ahead and get the data for the article, right? So we can go for name and actually try it. So that should be upgraded to Gatsby v2. So you see this works. So again, this works based on the ID, not slug, but ID. So that's for the name. Let's take a look at what we will need for that article. I think we can take that from Gatsby. So article template. I think that's what I'm looking for. Yeah. Well, this is complicated. Why do we have that there? Let's open the article. Oh, you have tags here. Okay. So let's take the markup. That's what I'm always interested in. And we're gonna, so the article template is here, so I'm just gonna put that there. We're obviously always working with the layout. So it's the same as in general any other page, right? Here we're using layout as well. Then we have the sidebar here. I think we're gonna need to replicate that too. If we don't have that there already. No, we don't. And do we have that here actually? Oh, it's not here at all. Okay. So let's keep it the same way. We're gonna have to change this a bit, but I'm not sure how this is done in Gridsum. So let me take a look at how we can do that. So templates, how we can change the title. Okay, it seems that we can add here a function, meta info under export. So I'm just gonna put that here. Meta info return title, and that would be this page, not post. This is invitee. No, sorry. Wrong. There should be the data coming from this query. So we're looking for name, we got that. We're looking for date. Oh, actually, this is not the right name. We are looking for title. We are looking for date. We also want description. I assume we want content. And let's see what else do we have here. Category and tags. Let's take both. Tags. Field of type category must have a selection. Okay. So let's take title and slug. Tag must have a selection of subfields. The same problem. So let's go for title and slug. Okay, so that's the content right here. This is one category. This is these are 3 tags. Exactly what we have here on this page, right? Open source, Gatsby, web development. Those are the tags. And where do we have the category? Maybe it's not displayed here even. But the important thing is that this query should be working. Let me make this a bit nicer. Perfect. And I'm gonna copy that over to the page query here in the article.view template. So we got the query. And in meta info, I can say that this page title, what did we have in Gatsby? Those article elements, title value, and the title. And the title is coming from content items site metadata elements title value. Okay, what we can do is we can enhance the query. So we can say article is this, and we can then say site would be coming from site metadata or all site metadata, to be honest. I think we did that already in the layout or in the index page. Somewhere I remember we did that. some time ago. Let's take a look. Or we didn't? I think we did. Like here's some meta info. Oh, this is actually how we do that. Nice. So we can, sorry, we can do it this way. It's easier. But the site metadata should come from content, if I'm not mistaken. Node. Because here we have title. See, blog by John Doe. So I guess we can do it this way, and we can limit it to one item. Let me know that we always have one item there. And let's take this and paste it here. So that's article and site. So the title will be page, site, edges, node, title. And first of all, there should be the article title, right? So article dot title. So we can do it like this. I think that's how we did it in Gatsby. Oh, there is a minus between them. Cool. Perfect. So now we have the layout div. We can remove this thing. Article template details. So for now, let's put here article template. Article template details. Where do we have that? Components, article template details. Wow, okay, there's a lot of blocks here. So let's try to do one thing at a time. So I'm just gonna put here h1 and place here page.article.title. And that should be fine. Now when I have to rebuild this so that Gridsum generates the right pages, but okay, here we got some errors. Content type for the article template does not exist. Did you mean, okay, underscore article. Yeah, that's what I meant. So the reason why I have the underscore there is because Gridsum had a problem with one of the type names called page, which is why I had to put a custom prefix. So this is only because of the prefix. Yeah, I defined that prefix to be underscore. This could be pretty much anything else. Or if you don't use page as a content type, you don't have to use a prefix at all. So yeah, I meant this, and I have to change that in the Gridsum config as well. So let's try this again. Looks good. Okay, let's take a look. And let's see the upgrade to Gatsby v2. Okay, this is not leading anywhere. But the page seems to be working, because otherwise I would get 404. So let's take a look at console. Page is not defined. All right, so it's getting to the template, but page is not defined means I made a mistake in the template. Let me see how I did it here. This was page.invitee. This should be working. Script page query. Query. Okay, let's take a look in the documentation. So you see, page.post, this should be working. Maybe he doesn't like the alias here. In that case, I would have to go with all site metadata. Let's see if this is gonna help. Nope, he still doesn't like it. Okay. So what else did I do wrong here? Page is not defined. Templates, article. Article. Okay, so I'm just gonna compare that with this other page. But that should work the same way. Export default, that's fine. Template, we're using the page, $page, $page. This is all the same. Page query. Page query, why are you not working then? Let's take a look at what Google thinks. So some page is not defined. This is not a component, this is a template article. So article is defined by a slug. Which should be okay. Let's take a look here. Yeah, that's the same. Invitee is a slug. We are using slug as well. And in the template, we have underscore article. Okay, let's put here a test. Okay, still. Page is not defined. Maybe he doesn't like it being here. Let's comment this out. Okay, this seems to work. So maybe the problem is that I had it right before, that this should be a function. And it cannot behave like a normal page, which makes sense. Yeah. Okay, in order to access the query results. Okay, that's what I want. So that was my mistake. Let me fix that quickly here. Return title, this thing, and there we go. So now we should be able to go with page.article.title. Yay, so you see, now it is working. So the pages are being rendered. Obviously, I'm gonna have to change this a bit so that it shows the whole blog posts, but otherwise it seems to be working. For some reason, I lost my cursor, so it's never showing me the hand, you know, the pointer. It's always showing me the normal cursor, but that's again something that we can fix later. So the important thing is that the blog looks quite nice. The pages are being rendered the right way. Next time, we'll see what we're gonna do. I think that I'm gonna work on this a bit over the weekend, so I can get it into a state where we can finally make a pull request and have a starter for Gridsum from this Lumen. And we'll see next time. Maybe we're gonna look at Gatsby a bit more. You see that the static site generators, the Gridsum and Gatsby, are very similar in what they do, but their markups and the things that you need to do, how you build the pages, is a bit different. So the majority of confusion comes from this, yeah, because we're used to one way of doing things, then we have to do it the other way. So I'm gonna work on this. I'll let you guys know what's happening. Follow me on Twitter if you want to get the latest news. Otherwise, I'll see you next week on Thursday, exactly the same time, 3 p.m. British summertime. And we're gonna either work on the Gridsum again, or we're gonna look at Gatsby and finally finish that switch to the newest Gatsby source plugin, which is, by the way, the fastest source plugin for a headless CMS in the world. So make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel, and I'll see you guys next week. Thanks for watching. I'll see you then. Bye.